Hey guys, Dave from Dave's Toy Shop Works here, and on this episode we're continuing the build on Brooke's truck box for her 1979 Dodge pickup. So you might see now it's got a shiny, glossy, glistening bit of paint on it. I did that for one reason and one reason only. When I'm doing metal repair and lots of sanding on bare metal, as you know we took it down to bare metal if you watched the previous videos, I tend to lose my depth perception. I can still see and feel, but I lose my depth perception, and that can make a guy miss a few things. So I like to take a project when I get it pretty close, and if I have the spare paint, I had some leftovers, I decided to mix it up. I sprayed this the other night, let it set up for a couple days, and sure enough, I've got a lot of pinholes to fix, and I've got a lot of blended spots that I thought were blended that are not blended. And that's the typical thing. You go ahead and you block everything down the way I did, and it looks pretty darn good on camera, it looks pretty good to the feel, but when you paint it, then you find all your spots, all the little things that you thought you had taken care of that were no longer, that didn't work out. So if we take a look, I don't know what you're going to see. Now you can see a little bit of zebra striping, and I mean I painted it. It was pretty shadowy in here. I'm not worried about that. It was the shine. I've got a really nice consistent shine on it, and that's what I needed. Now if we go over here, I started blocking it out, and I think I was using 220 to get a good grit on it, but we take a look here, you can see right here there's this weird splotch, and same right here. That's Bondo, and up here as well, and this little section, that's Bondo that I didn't get fully feathered down. And I really thought I did, like going over it by hand, everything was pretty good, but it shows, and you can feel it in the paint, but you couldn't see it before. Now as for the pinholes, you can blow the panel down, you can vacuum the panel down. Vacuuming is the best way to go. If you vacuum down everywhere where there's Bondo dust, you will get probably 98.99% of all the pinholes uncovered, and then you can go in there with some spot putty or a little bit extra filler. Fill them in, sand them down before you paint, and that's all fine and dandy. But this you can see, there's lots of spots that the sander didn't even touch. I mean, I watched all this stuff while I was sanding it, and it was all sanding quite well. I've got a whole pile of pinholes down here. This is where I had to do the majority of the Bondo work though. And down here, I have low spots with high spots. I've got, I'm not sure what that is, that might just be a little bit of dirt in the paint, I think, actually, yeah. And I didn't sand off this because it's at a spot where I would like to use one of my curved sanders or my soft sanders. The edge isn't perfectly smooth up here either, it's not even. The corners blended out okay, but again, I can't sand those with a flat sander. So I'm going to go ahead, buck this thing down, and I'll bring you back when I'm all done we'll see what kind of a mess I have once I've uncovered everything. So Brooke is giving a quick scrub of the side of the truck. This is the driver's side. We haven't done anything to it yet. Just stripped it and metal prepped it. The whole idea of just giving it a quick scrub is just to remove some of the loose chalkiness that can be left over. And we've measured out where to cut our hole to move our filler cap to the back. And
swagger down the street with your red lips and funky beat. You better hold your head up to the sky. I'm gonna roll with you till the day I die.
Sorry, I'm awkward.
so Brooke, what is your next step after you've got all those trim holes welded up?
Take this guy and make them all smooth.
Very good. We are going to hold off on that for now though, guys. And we'll take care of that tomorrow after 5. So that's where we're sitting right now. We've got the sanding down much better. Everything up top here is decent. We got a couple little spots to fill. A couple of high spots we have to dig into and just kind of tap them down a little bit. But nothing crazy. Once we tap those down a shade, we'll scuff sand around them to see if we're at the right level. As long as they're below our sanding level, then we can just give that lightest skim of filler on it and buck them down, and we're that much closer now to getting this thing properly in paint. So here on the wheel well, still have a little bit more work to do, but I actually have to scuff down these edges, and I'm going to have to lay just a little bit of filler, probably down to here for blending. And I have to bring this edge out a little bit. There's a lot of pinholes in it anyway, so I got to scuff it down. We'll build it back out. Looks like I might need not quite 1/8 of an inch of filler on it. I used a flat board on it, and yeah, it was like just over 1/16 of an inch. So that's where we're going to leave it for the night. And when you come back next time, you'll hopefully see this side sanded, prepped, spot puttied, and scuffed, ready for actually getting this thing in paint. Alright, from Dave and Brooke at Dave's Lawyer Shopworks, thank you very much for your time, guys, and hope you keep on watching. Have a good night.